Since bringing Jasper, the shy tabby cat, home from the shelter, Mariah noticed something peculiar. Jasper would spend hours each day perched on the windowsill, gazing intently outside. It was more than just a casual interest. There was a deep longing in his eyes that Mariah couldn't understand. One day, driven by concern and curiosity, Mariah decided to investigate the mystery behind Jasper's unwavering focus, leading to a revelation that would take her back to the shelter where it all began. Mariah had tried many times to look over Jasper's shoulder and see what he was so fixated on. But to her untrained human eyes, there seemed to be nothing out of the ordinary outside. Just her normal, quiet, suburban neighborhood. There was occasionally a dog being walked or an outside cat that appeared through the window, but Jasper did not even look at those animals for a second. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. The cat's gaze just stayed fixated on something in the distance. That is the only way that Mariah was able to explain it. That, or the animal was just staring blindly out the window. But she figured that this was simply happening too often for that to be the case. And if Mariah tried to close the blinds, the animal would immediately try to get behind them to see the outside again. The more Mariah analyzed the behavior, the more curious about it she became. She started to notice that Jasper often took his place in front of the window at around the same time in the afternoon every single day, and that he would sit there for at least 2 hours, but often a lot longer. It didn't matter what kind of weather it was either. Mariah had even decided to call a vet and see what his opinion on the matter was. But as long as Jasper was not showing any symptoms of health problems, he was not too worried about it. He, however, did not have an explanation for the behavior, but suggested that Jasper might be better off being an outside cat if all he did was stare through the window. The behavior could indicate boredom. Mariah understood the concerns of the vet, but did not entirely buy into his theory. Jasper had been an inside cat for 5 years now and had never shown any behavior like this before and never presented with symptoms of boredom. Mariah just felt like there was something else going on. And even though the vet did not give her the answer she hoped for, he did give her an idea of how to find out the truth for herself. Maybe if she let Jasper outside, he would walk towards whatever he had been looking at. It might be a long shot, but she really didn't have any other idea of how to figure out what the hell was going on with her beloved pet. But she could not just let Jasper go outside. The cat had never been out of the comforts of her home and closed-off garden. She had no idea how he would react. So, as a precautionary measure, she went out to the pet store and bought a small leash and harness which she could use to walk Jasper outside safely. But getting the apparatus on Jasper was a bit more difficult than she had anticipated. The cat was not used to this at all and was working against the harness the best it could. It took a little while for the animal to get even the slightest bit comfortable with it. But eventually, Jasper walked around with the harness like he had done it for years. This was the moment that Mariah knew the cat was ready for the outside. She hooked the leash to the harness and opened up the front door for Jasper to go out and explore. And even though the animal seemed to be as curious as he could be, Jasper was also very cautious. He slowly started to make his way outside, not yet having any focus on whatever he had been staring at through the window for months. The cat was just trying to find its footing in a whole new world for the animal. But when Mariah managed to get Jasper to the side of the house the window was looking out on, something quickly changed in the animal's behavior. Jasper suddenly acted a lot more confident, and instead of endlessly sniffing the ground and everything around him, he started to purposely walk in a direction away from the home. The cat was almost pulling on the leash. Mariah's heart started to beat faster. She knew that Jasper would lead her right to where she wanted to go. Mariah and Jasper ventured forth from their home, embarking on a journey led by Jasper's restless spirit. The tabby cat, once timid, now trod with purpose, guiding Mariah into realms unknown. Her heart raced, filled with a mix of excitement and unease as they left the familiar comfort of their neighborhood behind. The landscape transformed as they reached the city's edge, where concrete gave way to green. Mariah's curiosity piqued, yet worry gnawed at her. What could draw Jasper to venture so far? The contrast between their suburban life and the unfolding rural vista stirred a deep sense of adventure within her. Silence enveloped them, a stark contrast to the suburban clamour they were accustomed to. Mariah observed the serene rural landscape, mystified by Jasper's attraction to this place. The tranquility of their surroundings offered a peaceful respite, yet underscored the mystery of Jasper's longing. Jasper's determination became increasingly apparent as they ventured further. Mariah's anxiety about their destination grew, yet she couldn't help but admire his resolve. The cat's keen focus hinted at a purpose Mariah could not yet fathom, deepening the mystery of their journey. As they moved beyond familiar territory, Mariah's awe for the unfolding landscape intensified. The beauty and serenity of their surroundings captivated her, making every step into the unknown a thrilling leap into adventure. Jasper's confidence and purposeful strides filled Mariah with a sense of wonder about the world through his eyes. Jasper's confident strides halted before an eerie, abandoned house, its facade marred by time and neglect. Mariah's curiosity piqued as she gazed upon the forgotten structure, its windows like empty eyes staring back. This desolate place, somehow significant to Jasper, stood silent against the backdrop of their adventure, inviting them into its mysteries. With a mix of hesitation and determination, Mariah approached the weathered door, her knocks echoing unanswered through the empty halls. The silence that followed felt almost tangible, wrapping the house in an even greater mystery. It was as if the very air held its breath, waiting for the secrets within to be unearthed. The house's dilapidated exterior spoke volumes of its neglect. Peeling paint and overgrown vines told stories of years gone by, a once cherished home now forgotten. Mariah couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness for the house, wondering about the lives that had once filled its rooms with laughter and warmth, now left to whispers in the wind. Confused, yet intrigued by Jasper's fixation, Mariah circled the property. Here and there, remnants of the past peeked through the overgrowth. A child's toy, a rusted garden tool. Each piece hinted at the house's former inhabitants, sparking Mariah's imagination about who they might have been and what drew Jasper to this place. The silence enveloping the abandoned house weighed heavily on Mariah's shoulders. Standing in the unkempt yard, she contemplated their next move. This place, shrouded in mystery and time, seemed to hold the key to Jasper's strange behaviour. Yet, the quiet around them was both a beckoning and a warning, as if the house itself was pondering their presence. As Mariah explored the yard, she noticed old cat toys scattered amidst the weeds, balls of yarn, small plush mice, and tattered scratching posts. These relics of joy and play deepened the enigma, suggesting a once thriving haven for felines. This discovery made Mariah wonder about the lives that had brushed past these toys, leaving behind echoes of purrs and playfulness. A passerby, noticing Mariah's puzzled look, paused to share tales of the house's last occupant, an elderly woman known for her heart of gold, dedicated to rescuing stray cats. This revelation sparked a realization in Mariah. Perhaps Jasper's interest in this place was more than mere curiosity. It hinted at a connection woven from kindness and care that Jasper might have once known. The stories of the elderly woman and her rescue cats painted a vivid picture of compassion and refuge. Mariah stood there, pondering Jasper's past, wondering if his path had once crossed with the kind-hearted rescuer. This legacy of kindness seemed to resonate with Jasper, suggesting a bond to the place that went beyond the visible ties. The connection Mariah felt to the house's history grew stronger, as if the spirits of those rescued cats lingered, whispering their stories. She sensed that Jasper's fixation on this place was more than coincidence. It was a call to a past life, a return to a once familiar haven. This sense of unseen bonds tugged at her heart, urging her to uncover more. Clues scattered around the property hinted at Jasper's familiarity with the surroundings. The way he navigated the yard, his interest in certain spots, all pointed to a recognition, a memory embedded in his steps. Mariah's intrigue deepened, piecing together the narrative of Jasper's connection to this place, a puzzle slowly forming a picture of his past encounters here. In a fleeting moment, Jasper's adventurous spirit overcame the constraints of his harness. With a swift, unexpected movement, he slipped free and darted towards the house, leaving Mariah a step behind. Panic and determination surged within her as she pursued Jasper, her fear for his safety overshadowing the shock of his sudden escape. Through thickets and overgrown grass, Mariah chased Jasper, her heart pounding with every step. The uneven terrain and dense foliage slowed her down, but her worry for Jasper propelled her forward. Each rustle and shadow in the underbrush seemed to mock her efforts, amplifying her concern for his well-being as she navigated the obstacles between them. The chase ended as abruptly as it had begun, with Mariah's foot catching on a hidden root, sending her tumbling to the ground. As she gathered herself, she found Jasper sitting calmly by a cat door carved into the house's foundation. His serene demeanor in stark contrast to the frantic moments before, hinting at a familiarity with this hidden entrance. Jasper's calmness at the cat door suggested a deep-rooted recognition, as if he had crossed this threshold many times before. Mariah watched, puzzled and intrigued, as Jasper waited patiently, his behavior indicating a comfort and familiarity with the house that Mariah could not yet comprehend, deepening the mystery of his connection to this place. Sitting beside the cat door, Mariah contemplated Jasper's possible past encounters with the house. The ease with which he navigated to this spot and his calm waiting hinted at a history Mariah had yet to uncover. This threshold marked more than a physical boundary. It was a gateway to understanding Jasper's untold story and his mysterious bond with the house. With a heavy heart and a stone in hand, Mariah shattered a small window to gain entry. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the silent house, marking her intrusion. Driven by a mixture of concern for Jasper and a deep-seated curiosity about the house's connection to him, she carefully climbed through, her mind racing with what she might discover inside. Stepping into the dim interior, Mariah was immediately surrounded by the remnants of a life once lived. Dust-covered furniture and faded photographs adorned the space, offering a glimpse into the house's past. As she moved cautiously, the presence of cat toys and beds hinted at Jasper's possible history with this place, weaving a tangible connection between him and the home. The house seemed to hold its breath as Mariah explored, finding photographs that told stories of companionship and love. Among the images, she spotted several that featured cats, which made her wonder if Jasper was among them. Each room held memories, and Mariah felt as though she was piecing together a puzzle, with Jasper at its center. "Jasper!" Mariah called out, her voice cutting through the silence. There was no response, only the echo of her own words bouncing off the walls. The house felt empty, yet charged with the memories of those who once filled its rooms. Mariah's concern grew with each unanswered call, the silence amplifying her fears about Jasper's whereabouts. As she moved through the house, the quiet seemed to grow heavier, casting shadows of doubt over her decision to break in. The stillness was unnerving, making Mariah question what she hoped to find and whether Jasper's connection to this place was worth the risks they were now facing. Each step felt like a further intrusion into a story that was not hers to uncover. Mariah's steps echoed through the silent corridors, each room seemingly holding its breath. The quiet was profound, enveloping her in a shroud of solitude. "Jasper," she whispered, half expecting an answer, half fearing she wasn't alone. The house's silence was a heavy cloak, making her question if unseen eyes were watching, hidden in the shadows. The silence in the house grew heavier, almost palpable, pressing down on Mariah with a weight that made her question her reality. Was this stillness merely the absence of noise, or something more sinister? The air felt thick, charged with unspoken histories, making her heart race. Each room seemed to hold a breath, waiting for something or someone to break the silence. As Mariah moved through the house, the sense of Jasper's presence seemed to fade, like a trail going cold. Yet, An unsettling feeling crept over her, a sense that they were not entirely alone. The absence of any sign of Jasper or recent habitation clashed with the feeling of being watched, of whispers just beyond hearing, leaving her skin prickling with unease. With each empty room, Mariah's anxiety mounted, doubts clouding her mind. Had she misjudged the situation, letting her emotions lead her into folly? The house, with its oppressive silence and hidden secrets, seemed to mock her efforts. As the search for Jasper turned increasingly fruitless, Mariah questioned not just her decision to enter, but what she hoped to find in this silent, waiting house. The sound of a key turning in the lock cut through the silence, sending Mariah's heart into a frenzy. In a split second, she sought refuge, ducking behind a large, dust-covered armoire. The idea of an unknown person entering the abandoned house filled her with a deep sense of dread, her mind racing with thoughts of who it could be and their intentions. Crouched in her hiding spot, Mariah's heart pounded against her chest like a drum. The fear of being discovered by the visitor was overwhelming, a rush of adrenaline urging her to flee, yet compelling her to stay silent. Every creak of the floorboards, every shuffle echoed in her ears, amplifying her fear of the imminent encounter. As the footsteps drew nearer, Mariah held her breath, trapped in the shadows. The suspense of not knowing who approached or what their reaction might be upon finding her was paralyzing. The dim light barely reached her hiding spot, casting a veil of uncertainty over her next move. She could only listen, wait, and hope her presence remained undetected. Then, a voice broke through the tension, calling out, "Jasper!" The familiarity of the name, spoken with a hint of concern and affection, offered a sliver of hope. Mariah's fear momentarily subsided, replaced by curiosity and surprise. Could this person hold the key to understanding Jasper's connection to the house? The mention of Jasper's name tethered her to her spot, eager yet apprehensive. The situation forced Mariah to weigh her options quickly. Should she reveal herself and confront the stranger, risking potential danger, or stay hidden, losing the chance to learn more about Jasper's past? Her concern for Jasper, mixed with a desperate need for answers, battled with her instinct for self-preservation. It was a pivotal moment, deciding not just her fate, but potentially unraveling the mystery of Jasper's connection to the house. Gathering every ounce of courage, Mariah stepped from the shadows into the dim light, confronting the stranger. Her heart raced as she prepared for any outcome, ready to protect Jasper and herself. This decision to face the unknown marked a turning point, propelled by her deep connection to Jasper and the quest for answers that had led them here. The stranger turned, revealing a face from Mariah's past, one that she barely recognized but filled her with a mix of relief and astonishment. The moment stretched, charged with tension and surprise. This unexpected familiarity eased the initial shock, paving the way for a cautious dialogue. Mariah's fear was tempered by recognition, transforming the encounter from a potential threat to a bridge to the past. In the tense silence, Jasper became the unspoken link between Mariah and the stranger. His calm demeanor around the man hinted at a shared history, softening the edges of the unexpected meeting. Jasper's presence offered comfort and a sense of common ground, turning the situation from confrontational to one of mutual concern for the cat's well-being. The man began to share stories of his encounters with Jasper, revealing a bond formed not just through occasional meetings, but through acts of kindness and care. These revelations shed light on Jasper's mysterious behavior and his connection to the house. Mariah listened intently, piecing together the puzzle of Jasper's past, which was intertwined with the man before her. As the conversation unfolded, the depth of Jasper's connection to the man became clear, bridging their shared past with the present. This dialogue rekindled a connection, offering Mariah new insights into Jasper's life before she had known him. The stories revealed the man's genuine affection for Jasper, highlighting the enduring impact of kindness and the unexpected paths on which it can lead us. The air between Mariah and the man became charged with a mutual concern for Jasper, laying the foundation for a cautious yet growing understanding. Their conversation, initially edged with apprehension, softened into a dialogue of shared worry and hope for Jasper's well-being. This unexpected common ground bridged the gap between them, fostering a tentative connection rooted in their care for the cat. As they spoke, it became evident that Jasper had woven a network of unspoken bonds between them. Their stories and memories of Jasper revealed a tapestry of connections, each thread highlighting their individual relationships with him. This cat, with his peculiar habits and mysterious past, had unknowingly brought them together, creating a circle of care and concern that transcended their initial strangerhood. The man recounted tales of feeding Jasper, each story a testament to the profound impact of small acts of kindness. These gestures, simple yet significant, had forged a bond between Jasper and the man, illustrating the ripple effect of compassion. Mariah listened, moved by the realization that kindness, even from strangers, holds the power to create lasting connections. Insights into Jasper's past visits to the man's home shed light on his recent behavior. Mariah learned of Jasper's frequent ventures to this place, drawn by the promise of affection and sustenance. These revelations painted a clearer picture of Jasper's actions, illustrating his search for the familiar comfort and kindness he had found here, bridging his past with their present. The narrative culminated in a reflection on Jasper's loyalty and the strong bonds he forms with those who show him kindness. This trait, so inherent to Jasper's character, underscored the depth of his gratitude and affection towards the man. Mariah was touched by this display of loyalty, realizing that Jasper's journey was not just one of return, but a quest to reconnect with a cherished friend. Mariah's understanding deepened as she reflected on Jasper's actions, recognizing them as more than mere wanderlust. His deliberate visits to the man's home were driven by a profound sense of gratitude and the need to revisit places marked by kindness. This insight into Jasper's character filled Mariah with admiration for his unique journey of returning to those who had shown him love. Jasper's ventures, as Mariah came to see, were not random escapades, but a quest to maintain and cherish the bonds he'd formed. Each visit to the man's house was a step towards preserving a friendship that offered him comfort and acceptance. This realization highlighted Jasper's deep-seated loyalty and his commitment to those he considered friends. The old house, with its layers of memories, stood as a silent witness to the warmth and care once abundant within its walls. For Jasper, it was not just a structure, but a repository of cherished moments. Mariah sensed the house's significance in Jasper's life, a constant in his adventures, emblematic of the love and kindness it once harbored. The narratives shared by the man about Jasper's adventures painted a picture of a cat deeply attached to his past. These stories were not merely recounts of visits, but a testament to Jasper's yearning to connect with the places and people that had imprinted on his heart. Mariah was moved by the depth of Jasper's desire to rekindle these past connections. As Mariah learned more about Jasper's escapades, it became clear that his actions were fueled by a longing for the man who had once provided him with care and affection. This revelation shed light on Jasper's persistence and his journeys back to the man's home, underscoring the profound impact of kindness and the lengths one might go to revisit the source of such warmth. Mariah's realization crystallized. Jasper's journey was fueled by a search for the kindness he remembered, not simple curiosity. This insight reshaped her understanding of his actions, recognizing them as expressions of gratitude and loyalty towards those who had shown him love. It was a profound reminder of the emotional depth and memory animals possess, guided by the affection they've experienced. Reflecting on Jasper's adventures, Mariah saw the depth of his connections, a bond that time nor distance could diminish. His repeated returns to the man who had cared for him underscored a remarkable loyalty and memory, illustrating how acts of kindness can forge enduring relationships, spanning the gaps between past and present. The journey with Jasper brought Mariah to a deeper reflection on the power of kindness and generosity. She realized that these simple acts could create ripples, building bridges between hearts and leaving lasting imprints. This experience underscored the belief that kindness is the foundation of meaningful connections, capable of transcending the barriers of time and memory. The adventure offered Mariah a new lens through which to view Jasper's world, one rich with connections and cherished memories. She gained a deeper appreciation for the impact of her actions and those of others in Jasper's life, understanding the importance of every interaction in shaping the web of relationships that define our existence. With a heart full of new insights and a bond with Jasper now deeper than ever, Mariah prepared for their return home. This journey had not only enriched her understanding of Jasper, but it also taught her valuable lessons about compassion, loyalty, and the enduring nature of kindness. Together, they stepped forward, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead, forever changed by their shared experience.